Chapter 1: Welcoming the Unknown. As the heavy metal doors clank shut behind him, Jamie takes a deep breath, the cold air of the prison striking his lungs with an unfamiliar chill. Imprisoned for a crime he insists he didn't commit, his heart races. In his diary, Jamie pours out his fears, feeling like a ghost wandering through the stark corridors of uncertainty. The throbbing pulse of panic grips him as he navigates the alien landscape, where every clanging echo amplifies his isolation. Yet amid the chaos, a flicker of hope ignites within him. He writes about his family, their unwavering belief in his innocence, and the justice he yearns to reclaim. It's this glimmer that keeps him grounded, pushing him to find allies among fellow inmates. With each entry, Jamie reflects on what it means to seek truth within these walls, revealing the resilience of his spirit as he clings to the dream of freedom beyond the bars. Chapter 2. The faint rustling of pages turns into echoes of children's laughter, followed by a soft, haunting melody played on a piano. In her isolated cell, Consuelo struggles with the weight of regret and longing. Once a fierce gang member, the walls of the prison now contain her memories, with her children often at the forefront of her thoughts. Her diary entries reveal a heart torn between the past and present, as she reflects on the choices that led her to this moment. Each page exudes the hope of reconnection, where she dreams of holding her little ones again. Within the confines of these four walls, a book club becomes her lifeline, a sanctuary where stories transcend the bleak surroundings and resonate within her soul. Literature becomes her escape, reminding her that even in silence, there is strength. With each chapter she reads, Consuelo seeks redemption and a future where she can reunite with her family. Chapter 3: Building Bridges. In this chapter, we meet Omar, a lifer whose days are spent not just serving time, but mentoring younger inmates. His diary reveals a transformation from a hardened criminal to a compassionate leader through the bonds he's forged in prison. As he reflects on his past, Omar writes about moments of triumph and failure, grappling with the consequences of his choices while illuminating the paths others might take. Amidst the harsh prison environment, Omar finds purpose in fostering brotherhood, believing that understanding and connection can break the cycle of violence. He shares stories of shared meals and late-night conversations in the yard, where he imparts wisdom on accountability and change. Omar's voice resonates with hope as he encourages his peers to envision a future beyond the bars, emphasizing that redemption is possible for those willing to seek it. In these poignant entries, Omar becomes a beacon of resilience and transformation within the prison walls. Chapter 4: The Sound of Freedom. In the confines of her cell, Lila discovers an unexpected refuge in poetry. Each diary entry reveals her journey as she transforms her pain into art, crafting verses that evoke vivid imagery of freedom and the world beyond concrete walls. Her words dance in her mind like whispers of the wind, offering solace amidst the harsh reality of incarceration. "I write to escape the weight of these bars," she confides, her voice laced with longing. With each stanza, Lila paints a landscape of dreams and unfulfilled desires, inspiring her fellow inmates to find their own voices. Through her creative writing workshop, she nurtures a sense of community, leading others to share their stories. "Writing is my lifeline," she declares, as sounds of bustling activity filter through the barred windows. In that moment, Lila embodies hope, reminding everyone that even within the darkest confines, the soul can soar free. Chapter 5: The Fight for Redemption. Eli's diary begins with a raw honesty that exposes the tangled struggle of his everyday life. He reflects on the grip of addiction that led him to this maximum security prison, recounting shameful memories interlaced with moments of clarity. Each entry unravels the depths of his battle, illustrating the relentless cycle of highs and lows that once consumed him. Eli describes his participation in a rehabilitation program that provides him with tools to confront his demons: support groups, therapy sessions, and individual reflection. Through poignant writing, he shares the struggles to resist temptation, illustrating the loneliness that often shadows recovery. Yet, amidst the darkness, Eli discovers glimmers of hope, support from peers and newfound purpose in helping fellow inmates battling addiction. In a powerful moment of choice, he vows to embrace this path, seeking redemption not only for himself, but for those who tread similar shadows. Chapter 6. Unraveling the Past. As Consuelo reflects on her life before prison, the memories rush in like a flood. In her diary, she writes about the allure of gang life, a deceptive promise of belonging and power that once captivated her. Each entry reveals the weight of her choices, nights spent in dangerous streets, the thrill overshadowed by the fears of violence and betrayal. Her thoughts drift to her children, whom she hasn't seen in years, carried away by the consequences of her affiliations. Amid the stark reality of her cell, Consuelo confronts the deep scars of her past, recognizing how her decisions have not only shaped her destiny, but have also fractured her family. Through these painful reflections, a seed of remorse takes root, fueling her desire for change. With each word, she begins to transform her sorrow into wisdom, vowing to rewrite her narrative and reclaim her identity, not just as a former gang member, but as a mother and a mentor. Chapter 7. Moments of Clarity. As Jamie sits on the edge of his narrow bunk, the dim light of his cell casts shadows on the cold walls. His diary becomes a confidant, a refuge as he reflects on his evolving understanding of justice. He writes about the conversations he's had with fellow inmates, each one a lesson etched into his consciousness. There's Miguel, who once lived a life of crime, but now speaks passionately about making amends, and Sarah, who shares her heartbreak over lost years and broken dreams. With every word, Jamie realizes that truth is a multifaceted concept, shaped not just by facts, but by human experience and emotion. He grapples with his own innocence and the weight of being judged by a system that often fails its purpose. Amidst the chaos, these moments of clarity shine like beacons of hope, slowly guiding him toward a deeper understanding of himself and what justice truly means. Chapter 8. The Bonds We Forge. The sound of laughter cuts through the heavy silence of the yard, a reminder that connection endures even in the bleakest of places. Omar's diary entries reveal the deep friendships he's cultivated behind bars, where trust is a rare commodity. He writes about Marco, a young inmate who reminds him of himself at that age, lost but still eager to change. Together, they spend hours discussing dreams and ambitions, finding solace in shared stories of pain and resilience. Omar reflects on how these bonds have shifted his perception of prison. It's no longer a place of punishment, but a community of accountability and mutual support. The camaraderie among inmates serves as a lifeline, proving that even within concrete walls they can create a family that fosters hope. As Omar pens these thoughts, the distant sounds of a basketball bouncing echo, symbolizing the freedom they all yearn to reclaim, together in unity. Chapter 9. Writing Beyond Walls. As Lila sits in her cell, the world outside seems like a distant dream, yet the ink on her pages becomes her lifeline. Through her diary, she reflects on the transformative power of writing, how each word penned can transcend the concrete that confines her. With a gentle scratch of her pen, she captures the beauty of fleeting moments, the warmth of sunlight filtering through the barred window, laughter shared with fellow inmates during poetry readings, and the bittersweet echo of freedom in her verses. Encouraged by the emotional responses of those around her, Lila initiates a collaborative poetry project, inviting inmates to share their stories. In this sacred space, vulnerability allows them to connect, fostering a sense of community. They exchange verses and memories, revealing the shared struggles and dreams that bind them together. For Lila, writing is not just an escape, it's a beacon of hope, illuminating the path toward healing and understanding. Chapter 10. Shadows and Light. Eli's diary entry begins with a stark reflection on the suffocating darkness of addiction that has haunted him for years. He recounts late nights spent battling cravings, where the relentless pull of substances often overpowered his will to fight. I remember the feeling of being trapped in an endless loop of despair, he writes, capturing the raw honesty of his struggle. Yet amidst this turmoil, Eli finds solace in weekly support group meetings, where he discovers a shared humanity among fellow inmates. They bare their souls, illuminating the strength found in vulnerability. In this chapter, Eli narrates a pivotal moment. During an intense session, he publicly confronts the demons of his past, making a commitment to change. I can choose differently, he notes, a flicker of hope igniting within him. Eli's journey through the shadows offers a glimmer of light, I have illustrating the difficult yet achievable path toward redemption and healing. Chapter 11. Finding Community. As Consuelo delves into her diary, she reflects on her newfound sense of belonging within the prison's book club. The sound of turning pages and quiet laughter fills the air, a stark contrast to the solitude often felt behind bars. Her writings reveal how sharing stories with fellow inmates has fostered deep connections, helping her reconnect with the essence of motherhood she once feared lost. She recounts the poignant moment when she opened up about her past, revealing her regrets and dreams to those who listened without judgment. In these shared experiences, Consuelo finds solace and strength, transforming her loneliness into a sense of purpose. Through the lens of literature, she begins to heal, piece by piece, understanding that while the past cannot be undone, the future is rich with possibilities. In this vibrant community, Consuelo is learning that hope can thrive even in the most confined spaces. Chapter 12. Lessons from the Yard. The sound of a basketball bouncing echoes across the prison yard as Omar reflects on the lessons learned within these concrete walls. His diary entries convey the camaraderie forged with younger inmates, emphasizing the importance of mentorship in an environment where hope often feels scarce. Through shared experiences, Omar teaches them that strength lies not in violence, but in understanding and compassion. He writes about a specific moment when he guided a distraught inmate, reminding him that every setback can be a setup for a comeback. The yard transforms into a classroom where laughter and vulnerability intertwine, creating a sanctuary for those searching for purpose. Omar's commitment to breaking the cycle of violence resonates with those around him, inspiring them to seek change within themselves. He understands that every meaningful connection can change the trajectory of a life, proving that redemption is possible, even in the unlikeliest of places. Chapter 13. The Power of Expression. In the dimly lit room of the prison library, Lila takes a deep breath as she prepares to lead a creative writing workshop. The air is filled with a mix of anxious excitement and palpable curiosity from her fellow inmates. She starts by sharing a few of her own poems, filled with vivid imagery that captures the sense of longing for freedom and a better life. As she reads, the room grows silent, each word resonating with their shared experiences behind bars. Encouraging them to express their feelings, Leela hands out notebooks, inviting everyone to write. Soon, the sound of pencils scratching on paper fills the air. One by one, her peers begin to share their stories, revealing pain, hope, and dreams. As the workshop unfolds, Leela witnesses the transformative power of words, recognizing how art fosters connection and healing among those seeking solace in a world confined by walls.